Welcome, everyone, to the Ntomato Show. I am your host, Dr. Uwa Onyoha Osimiri, and I'm also the president of the African Women Mobilization Commission. This is an organization that's taking proactive action for change in the lives of women and children in Africa and beyond, particularly in Nigeria. I'm so excited to be the founder of this organization. Now, the mission of our organization is mobilization of women so that women can do the work that needs to be done in our societies, our communities, and then philanthropic work where we engage in feeding children. And also, we have about four camps in northern Nigeria, in Maiduguri, where we are feeding over 2,000 kids and 1,114 kids and about 2,000 women. And so you can imagine the kind of work that we're engaged in. And that's our philanthropic work. And then, of course, advocacy, where we advocate for young children, give them the opportunity to go to school. So we have several children that we are paying for their tuition to go to school. And also the advocacy program, Black Girls Rise and Ikenga Rising. Black Girls Rise is for the young men, for the young women who we provide sanitary napkins and hygiene products so that they can attend school, because a lot of them don't go to school because they don't have that kind of hygiene protection while they're in school. And then we have Ikenga Rising, which is for the boys, to encourage them to rise beyond their circumstances and become good leaders of tomorrow for their societies. The same thing goes for the women, goes for the girls. So the other thing is that we believe that culture is an essential aspect of people's lives, and we encourage the women to promote the culture of our people wherever they are. Whatever your culture is, don't look down on it, because that's the foundation of who you are. So it's important to celebrate it to the fullest. No matter what else you choose to celebrate, don't abandon your culture. The other thing is training. We provide training. We have a STEM program. It's a housing program for young girls who are aging out of foster care. We put them in an environment where they can learn science and then keep them there for about a year. And once they have learned what they need to learn so that they can move forward, then we let them, of course, they're grown women, so they're around from the ages of 17 and 24. So they certainly can say when they want to leave, but we're not going to ask them to leave until they are ready to do so. So they provide training. We also provide training for women in different sectors. So it is an exciting program to be a part of, and many people are joining our program. As a matter of fact, we have in the past year, I beg your pardon, in the past month, we've registered over 250 interest group members. These are members in the community who want to be a part of what we're doing. And once they learn what they're doing, after a year, they become a full chapter. And they can choose to promote any of the mission of OMSI. And that is, groups may choose to do philanthropy or advocacy or culture or training. So we got a whole lot going, and we are just so excited. If you want to know a little bit more about OMSI, then visit www.omsiglobal.org. Again, www.omsiglobal.org. That is who we are. So thank you so much for joining us today. I am very happy to have you here. And for those who are not able to make it here, hopefully you'll watch the show a little bit later. Before we delve into our topic today, please subscribe to my channel, like and share, and this will boost the algorithms of our program. So there you have it. Now, before I get started, I want to also talk about, this is on a somber note, the community in Shreveport, Louisiana is coming together in prayer and support for a shooting that happened April the 19th, 2026, inside two homes that took the lives of 8 children. I've seen the pictures of these beautiful children who were lost. The Shreveport Police Department said that the children were from the ages, between the ages of 1 and 12 years old. They haven't even started living their lives. What could lead anybody to be so angry that they would take such lives? And then the sad part of it is that it's their father. Their father took their lives. That is so, so sad. The mother of the children, Shaniqua Elkins, remains in critical condition at the hospital. And in moments like this, we all have to come together spiritually to pray. She's going to need it, because when she wakes up, she will realize that she has lost her children. And that is very tragic. So let us hold them in prayer, please. Now, today we are addressing a crucial topic. You are enough. You are enough. Many of us don't realize it, but we are indeed enough. You are enough. You need to know that. When you're struggling, thinking that you're not enough, you are. You are. See, we find ourselves a lot of times, demanding more from fate than it's willing to dish out. We want more, 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 more. It's like asking for a 5-star meal when all we've got is a microwave dinner. We have to be satisfied with the microwave. The 10-course meal may not happen at the moment. Just remember, no condition is permanent. Everything that happens to you is is temporary. Okay, so but we need to stop being wrapped up in what we want, that we completely overlook the blessings already on our plates. So have you really honestly stopped to appreciate simple things? If I ask you today, are you appreciating what you have presently? Like that roof over your head, a few tasty bites of food that many do not have, or water to drink. Many people are laid up in the graveyard. But here you are, still inhaling and exhaling. Is that reason to celebrate? Is that a reason to give thanks to the divine? Those are my blessings. Those are blessings, my dear friends. Instead of constantly looking ahead, thinking, I want more, we need to take a moment to say, thank you, the divine, for this wonderful opportunity that we have. Whatever it is we've got at the moment, it's just a mindset that we have to adopt, because I see too many people whining about what they don't have. And then I ask, can you please take a breath, inhale, and tell me what you've got. Tell me what you've got. What you've got is life. Once you say thank you to the divine, then the universe, or whatever you call higher power, will open up and give you more. But you have to say thank you. You have to be grateful. You have to really understand that you're okay. You've already made it. And once you understand you've already made it, trust me, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve. Because after all, if you have breath, the most important gift, which is the gift of breath, if you have that, you have so much to work with. You have so much to work with. So you have to stop peering into the future and stop missing the little bits of things that are happening right under your noses. Right under your noses. There's so much going on. It's like being in a room full of cake, because you want something more. You're in a room full of cake, and what are you looking for? What are you upset about? You're focused on the slice that's out of reach. But you're not happy. You're not focused on the one that you already have. And when we can't have what we want, what do? We get bent out of shape. We just have to have that other thing. Never mind what we have right now. We have to start thinking that the universe is not conspiring against us. Just because we don't have it at the moment doesn't mean that the universe is conspiring against us. But here's the reality check. You are exactly where you're supposed to be at this moment, at this very moment. So if you've got a roof over your head and a few bites of meat on your plate, for those of you who are who don't eat meat, well, whatever it is you find on your plate that will nourish your body, raise your glass and give thanks. Open the windows, the curtains, and the blind. Pump up the volume and celebrate you. You are alive. You're where you're supposed to be. You've got everything that you need to achieve what it is you dream of. But give thanks. Gratitude goes a long way, folks. What you put out there is what comes back to you. That's just the way things work. It's like a cosmic boomerang. You know what that is? A boomerang. You throw it and it comes right back to you. So what you put out there comes back to you in the form of a cosmic boomerang. So when you're blessing others, you're making deposits into your good karma bank. You know, and trust me, that's a bank where you want to be making deposits. When you're grateful, you will find yourself to be in the position to help others. You know, you don't have a mindset of I don't have. You know, if you live in lack, you don't have the open mind to help others, to bank goodness, to make deposits into for your own good. You know, let's face it, we live in a world where we crave immediate satisfaction. We want everything now. If good things happen, sometimes it passes by because we're just too busy scrolling through our wish list. It's like missing the bus because you are spending so much time on your phone. Has that ever happened to you? Yes, it has. It's happened to me. It wasn't the bus. I almost missed my plane. I was so engrossed in what I was looking at on my phone that I didn't hear them calling for us to board. Well, I did make the flight, but almost didn't. So every day that you show gratitude, you're making those deposits I talked about. You know, showing gratitude. You know, it's like a savings good. If you have a savings account for good vibes, you know, you can cash it in when you need it. Life isn't always going to be a picnic. There will be rainy days and soggy sandwiches. You can understand that. But here's the trick. When you show gratitude, you're opening your hands to let the good stuff in. Yes, you know, when you open your hands, more things fall in. When you close it, obviously, nothing comes in. Even when you least expect it, good stuff flow in. You know, I've always found it joyful in helping others. You know, there's nothing quite like seeing the happiness on the front, on the face of people, someone's face, because of what you've done. It's like getting a front seat to the universe's magic show. Because of you, somebody's smiling. And the only way that you can give to other people and make other people smile is that you see yourself in a position of power or strength, that you're not looking down. Look up. When you're out spreading kindness, you'll be amazed at how the divine and our ancestors will reward you for it. I'm going to take a quick break and I come back and I'd share with you just the other day something that happened that really drove the point home for me. I'll be right back and we'll continue our conversation. Yes, you have enough. Welcome back. You have enough is the conversation we're having today. I have enough and I'm excited to share that with you. And before we go any further, I just want to remind you that the video that I just played, we are always looking for excited people to interview. Now, tell me if you are that person. Subscribe to Domodo TV on YouTube first and foremost, and then go to domodo@gmail.com so that you can become one of our guests. Again, that's the Domodo Show at gmail.com. We are looking forward to having you be one of our guests. You have enough, ladies and gentlemen. I have enough. I know that I have enough, and I just want to share that with you today. And what happened the other day was exciting, and this is the power of giving, the power of being consistent with gratitude, being grateful for what you have right where you are. If you have food to eat, if the roof is not caving in, that you still have family to hug you, and you are not 6 feet under, my God, my God, my God, you are alive. You are blessed more than you can say. And to prove it, see, like I told you earlier, I love to bless people. I love to do things for others. I like to see the joy in people's faces, because when I see that, I know I'm banking my good. At some point, I am going to be paid back. So the other day, something happened. Something very important happened to me. Now, you know how, like I said, I start my day very excited, and I want the world to know I'm having a good day. You're not going to define my day. So when I went to this restaurant, I was all excited. I wanted, I was on my phone talking to some friends while I was ordering my food. And then it was time to pay for the food. When I got ready to pay for the food, the bank would not allow me to use my card. They declined. So we tried it several times and they kept declining. Now it's getting ridiculous. Why is my card being declined? Didn't make sense. So this young lady is watching me, obviously, as I'm struggling trying to find how to pay for my food. But she touched my heart and she showed me what the power of kindness is. When the bank said that they could not, because the people had been charging my account, illegally, how that is. So what they had to do was call me, and I didn't realize they had already sent me an email to tell me what the activities were. So when I did call to find out why my card was being declined, they told me that they had to list out all these names, all these expenses that had occurred and that I was not aware of. So when they were calling it out, I'm saying, no, I didn't approve of any of those. No. So they said, well, based on that, they are going to now cancel my card and issue me a new one. Well, I'm in the middle of trying to buy food. So I'm saying to them, no. Okay, I understand that you have to give me a new card, but not today, not right now. I need to pay for my food. I've got all this food in front of me. And there's this young lady, Catherine. She was the one that had packaged my food, and she could tell that I was in distress, because quite frankly, there's nothing more embarrassing than having all the food in front of you, the bag handed to you, and all you had to do was pay. And other people can tell that something is going wrong, and certainly nobody is offering to help. And at that moment, this young woman, Catherine, came to me and said, without hesitation, don't worry about it, ma'am. I've got you. Now, we all know that waiters, for the most part, or even the managers, they're not paid that high. But her generosity not only alleviated my embarrassment, but also reminded me of the goodness of people, no matter who they are, white, purple, green, or otherwise. When the time comes, and like I said, you bank your goodness and you're grateful, good things fall into your hands. At that moment, that good thing was this young lady. She didn't care who I was. She didn't know me from anywhere. But she saw another human being in distress, and she stepped in. And I gave her my information. I told her that I wanted her to watch my show. And I know she's working, so she's probably not watching it. But if she's watching, I want to express my utmost gratitude to you, Karen, for your selfless act of kindness. It's people like you who make our world a better place. And I just want you to know that. If you are watching, check your email. I sent you an email. I need your Cash App or another way to accept support. I would love to send you a token of my appreciation and encourage others to support you as well. I don't know that you have a need, and I really don't care about that. We always could use a little extra. And I am determined to make sure that you get a little extra. Just so you know, I've called a lot of my friends. We're just waiting for your Cash App. And once we get it, we're going to spread that kindness to you that you showed to me. Your action meant a lot to me. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you. You see, when you are kind to others, you bank your goodness. She just banked goodness because there are going to be individuals that are going to support her. I don't know what we're going to give her. I don't know how much she's going to get from us. But I tell you, what matters is that she is going to be blessed. Yes, Madubuchibe, you are God to your fellow man. You're God to your fellow human beings. And that's it. At that moment, she saw another human being. She didn't care who I was. She didn't know me. But she understood that there was a need for her to step in. So in reflection, gratitude perspective that I'm offering today is a profound reminder that we must fixate on things we do have, not what we don't have. We must begin to appreciate the abundance that surrounds us. Little things, the littlest things matter. The littlest things you give thanks for matter. You may not think it matters, but it does. It does. When you give, you receive. Akom didn't panic. That's what we say in my language. My wealth lies in my community. My wealth lies in my community, because you never know from where the blessings will come. And what you put out there is what's going to come back to you. At that moment, that particular day, 2 days ago, I was full of enthusiasm. You should have seen me. I always try my best to be optimistic. But just that moment just brought me down from way up there down to, well, if it hasn't happened to you, trust me, when you feel at a loss and the world is watching you and you know they're not really interested in your well-being, you just find that little gem amongst all of those negativity. And that reminds you there are still some good people out here. And don't be judgmental. Don't draw conclusions about people without knowing them. And we tend to do a lot of that. We tend to have we have a tendency to think, oh, these people don't like it. And I'll be honest with you. I was in the sea of Europeans. I didn't know that anybody would care enough for this Black woman standing there looking all frustrated and confused, But that particular time, humanities, you may think this is not a big deal, but it was a big deal to me because I was in a state of complete frustration, and that happened. So like I said, we're waiting for Catherine to send us her information, and I will post it and hope that those of you who heard her story, it might not be big to you, but it's good enough for support, to remind her to keep being good, keep being kind. The God that you seek is in you. Be good to each other because God's blessings always flow through someone else. Yes, indeed. You can pray till you're blue in the face. You can pray today for this and that and this and that. But I tell you, it's going to take another human being to answer that prayer, because that's what God does, is put us in the position to do God's work. So that work was done for me that day. So I'm telling you, I cannot unsee this girl. I cannot unsee her. Again, her name is Catherine Little. Catherine Little. There's something that people in Item in the eastern part of Nigeria, that they say, Item say, I don't speak Item, but I know what they're saying. Hold on to what you do have, what you see. Be grateful for it. You see, because The other things that you seek shall come. No condition is permanent. It shall come. Enjoy just the greatest gift of all, and that is the breath. Walking amongst the living. You're not 6 feet under. If you don't know how lucky you are, how grateful you should be, take the moment and go to a graveyard and see all those individuals that will be more than happy to swap places with you, rich, poor, or otherwise. It doesn't matter how rich you are. I think, unfortunately, we attach too much to wealth. Wealth is a good thing. Hey, everybody wants to be wealthy. But sometimes we attach too much to wealth and we don't look at all the good things. And then when I step out of my house, the first thing I say, that means goodness fall into my hands as I walk through this door. Those bad things go behind me because I am not walking with you today. Now, that's an optimistic way of looking at life, of course. Now, when you get out there, somebody's going to kind of change that attitude a little bit, or circumstances will change that attitude. But the important thing, however, is to know that it's not permanent, that you just be grateful for the good things that you do have. Just be grateful. Just be grateful, because what happens ultimately is that everything that all the good that you have sown shall come back to you. It shall come back to you, sometimes in full force. In full force, I hear you say, what happened? Why am I this blessed? I know some people, I don't want to call names. I know some people who have struggled and wanted to give up. They're getting older and, nothing is happening. And all of a sudden, bam, it happens so fast. You're not expecting it. But your attitude must tell you it shall come, it shall be, it shall happen. You have enough right now at the moment. But all those other good stuff you're looking for, they will come. They will come. Because the divine doesn't forget anyone. I think we forget ourselves. We forget that we're not walking alone. When we don't have, and somebody did, it was a pastor who made it clear, and you probably have heard this before. If the divine gives you everything that you want and pray for at the same time, you can't handle it. You can't handle it. And that's why it's all spread out. You get a little bit here, and God will say, we call God Chineke. Chineke says, well, let's see how she or he handles that part. If you handle that good, then I'll give you some more. Because sometimes you can't handle it all. Have you ever gone grocery shopping and you have bags and bags and bags of stuff that you want to carry because you want to go in the house immediately? You don't want to come back and go to the trunk of your car and get additional stuff. You want everything right there. I'm going to take all these bags and get in the house and close the door. You don't have the patience to go back and get it. What happens to that food? Sometimes the bags break. Things fall on the floor. And that time you thought you didn't have, now you have to spend it trying to rebag. So if you have everything at once that you want, you may not be able to handle it. And that's why it's good to, first of all, be patient. Be patient. Tomorrow is pregnant. We don't know what it will bring. And if you're just patient enough, you'll be amazed at what will come to you when the time comes. You'll be amazed what you shall get. But you have to be grateful. In the tapestry of life, each thread weaves a story of abundance. Yes, so often we find ourselves gazing at empty spaces, longing for what seems to be out of reach. And then a lot of us focus so much on the past, what happened in the past. You know what? I said, we had a meeting the other day, and I said, the past is the past. The past is gone. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is on its way. All you have is today. So be grateful in what you have today. Stop longing for something that's out of reach. Just embrace what you do have. A one-eyed man who's rich in spirit is more powerful, has more wealth than a man who has a sight but is poor in spirit. There are many people who have massive possessions that will trade places with you today. because they don't have what you have. You think you want what they have. They may have a bad heart. They may have a crooked leg. They may have all kinds of stuff going on in their life, but they got money. But you have sight, you can smell, you can eat, you can run, you can do all those things. Is that no reason to celebrate? I love it. That's why you celebrate. That's why you're grateful. Hold on to what you do see. Hold on to what you do see. Because what you see is your blessing for the moment. What you see is your blessing for the moment. So, wherever you are, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and recognize the gifts that exist in the present. That's why it's called the present. 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 It's a gift. How many people do you know were buried? You probably know how many. I just told you this morning. I just talked about the fact that there were 8 children who were shot by their father. That's a family living in such anguish today. But that's not what's happening in your own home. You didn't get bombed up on your way going anywhere today. So you give praise to God the Father, God the Mother, whatever you call God. Chi and Eke, we give thanks. Give thanks. Take a moment and just say, hey, for all that you have given me, these are my treasures to nourish my soul. Thank you for giving me what you've given me. Unlock the door to true contentment. It's not about the wealth. The wealth will come. Yeah, like I said earlier, wealth is good to have wealth. But you need to honor the tangible blessings in your life. When you look at your children, they're fine. They don't have, there's so much measles. I know about where you are. There's measles going on everywhere. People are losing their children to diseases. But you take a look at your children. They're healthy. They're laughing. Don't tell them to tone it down. What a blessing to hear them screaming and yelling and carrying on. Let them have a day. Let them fill your soul with gratitude, because there is a woman somewhere laying in a hospital with their sick child dying of cancer. There's a man somewhere who just lost his wife. There's a woman somewhere crying for the death. I mean, there are people out there hurting. There are people out there struggling to eat, eating from the trash bin. Have you seen that? Do you know that happens? But you want to cry over something that you wanted that you didn't get. Be grateful for what you do have. So I think that cultivation of appreciation is so essential. So if you cultivate your appreciation, watch how your desires begin to manifest. Because believe it or not, the God that you're all saying that you're praying to also wants to hear what I gave you yesterday. What did you do with it? Are you happy for what you got? You want more? I can't give you more, and I don't even know what else you want from me, because I'm giving you something and you're not grateful for that. So I don't know I can give you anything else. You can't handle anything else. The little I gave you, you can't even handle that. So life unfolds before us beautiful ways when we acknowledge what we already possess. And it may not be money. As a matter of fact, you may go to your bank account and find all you have is $25. Well, guess what? There's somebody who is $25 in the negative. So you're already up there. You're already blessed. There's somebody in the negative that can withdraw a penny, but you can withdraw. You have up to $25 to withdraw. You see what I'm saying? So you've got to be grateful. Gratitude it's the only way that you continue to get more blessings is that you're grateful. Each moment is an opportunity for growth. Moment by moment. You have to get in the habit of living moment by moment. And a chance to embrace the now. Not tomorrow. Many people say, well, Echi, tomorrow, we'll go see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. No, not what happens tomorrow. What happens today? We're interested in what happens today. Because that's all you've got. You can walk out this door and that's it. That'll be the end of you. But you are here right now. Let us give thanks to the Most High. I try to do that. I know that I have limitations. Oh my God, do I ever? I know there are things that I want in this life that I don't have at the moment. But I do know that there are things that I have that other people will pay for. And so for that, I'm grateful. Let me just read something from an audience. I experienced something like that. At a checkout, this lady was short 7 pence, and the shop would not let her have food. Paid for her. A day later, a man paid £7 deficit for me at a store. Thank you. Official OB on your hand. That's how it works. That's why when you bank, when you are grateful enough, when you're happy with yourself and you see somebody who's not so lucky at that moment, you are banking goodness. It comes back to you. Once you give, you're banking your goodness. It will come back to you. It will come back to you in little bits, in little increments, sometimes big, sometimes little. Some of you may watch those videos on television. I love those videos where somebody meets someone who's a homeless, doesn't even have anything to even feed himself, but 50 cents. And somebody says, could you give me 50 cents? And you see a whole lot of people just walking by, their faces all screwed up, like, they're mad at the world. But this one person who has nothing but 50 cents in his pocket will give that 50 cents. That's a person who's banking, and you see ultimately what happens. In the video, you see that the person that he gave that 50 cents turns around and gives them 10,000, buys them a car, buys them a house, all for 50 cents. You're banking. Just think about it. Every time you give, you are banking your good. You're banking. We're going to take a moment right now, and I shall return to continue our conversation. Many thanks to Live Organics for supporting the African Women Mobilization Commission. And when we take our trip for the Black Girls Rise to Nigeria this year, it is our hope that they will go with us. I just want to remind you that our organization, the African Women Mobilization Commission, is the mission is mobilizing women, philanthropic efforts, advocacy for girls and boys and women, and promotion of culture and training. Again, if you want to support us or know a little bit more about the organization, www.omsiglobal.org. We're looking forward to we have so many people registering for our organization. So we are hoping that you will be one of those. And even if you just want to be a volunteer, you want to make financial donations, or you want to be a volunteer, go and visit our website. The other thing that we are doing that is very, very important is that we are promoting help by shopping. If you go to our website, you see a link that will take you. You can go shopping on our website. You can go shopping, and there are 250 stores It's called Help by Shopping. You go there on our link and it will take you to any store. So if you don't have any money to donate to the organization, you will at least be able to donate by just shopping for everyday goods, everything that you buy already. Yeah, just by shopping on our site and finding everything that all the stores that like I said, 250 stores, you will be able to shop and get what you want. So anyway, visit www.omsiglobal.org and learn a little bit more about us and support our effort. You know, one of the biggest problems, I think, and that's my personal opinion, is that people think that the world is such an is the haves and the haves not. No, it really isn't. It's the conscious and the unconscious. Because if you're a conscious person, you don't focus on anything that you cannot have at the moment. Because quite frankly, you have everything that you want. There's nothing that you want that you cannot have. If you're grateful for what you do have, there's nothing that you want that you cannot have, as long as you have breath. There's nothing that does exist out here. Who wants something that doesn't exist? There's nothing that exists that other people have that you cannot make your own. Just because they have it doesn't mean you can't have it. If you're grateful that you have something to start with, there's nothing that does exist that is too good for you. I was reading something written by Iyanla Vanzant where she stated those points. I loved it. I latched onto it. Because you have to have the mindset, understanding no condition is permanent. Right where you are is where you're supposed to be. Sooner or later, you will rise beyond that. But never give up on the possibility that you are going to rise beyond where you are. Because there's nothing more powerful than you are. There's nothing more powerful, more blessed than you are. You just don't know it. You're what life is all about. If you look in your history, you'll find that you come from a long line of successful human beings. They struggled, but they made it. That I can tell you, everybody has a story. All the wealthy people you see in this world, they have a story to tell. They made it in spite of their challenges because they were grateful for where they are and they planned for the future. They didn't give up on what they have to plan for the future. They are grateful for what they have as they plan for the future. And we need to get in that habit. It's a mindset. It's definitely a mindset. And you have to adopt it if you don't have it. If all you think about is what you don't have, my dear, you will never make it. Sorry, yes, I said it. It may hurt your little feelings, but that's true. If you are focused on what you don't have and that's all you think about, that's what you do all day is whine and complain about it, you will never have it. I want to tell you a story about a young man named Kojubo. I tell this story all the time, and it does serve a purpose. It lets people know that your condition is not something to be ashamed of. If you're inhaling and exhaling, praise the divine for doing that. Your condition is not something that you should run from. Certainly you can plan to go beyond where you are, but where you are, give praise and thanks. Okojubo, as I was telling you, was a man who lived in my village of Mboro, the eastern part of Nigeria. This gentleman was not a good-looking man at all, and I don't want to belabor the way he looks. But he was not a good-looking man. But every time we children saw him, we mocked him because he has a funny gait. He talked funny. He walked funny. No, he didn't talk funny. He just walked funny. He looked funny. But he was always smiling. We who supposedly had more than he had were always to have time to be mean to other people. Children will always be mean. You know that. I'll say anything that you don't know. But we would tease this man. And then finally we had the audacity to ask him, why is it that you're always smiling? even though you look the way you do. And Okojubo looked at and said, well, I'm smiling because you're not greater than me, right? Where you may be taller than me. I'm shorter than you. And if I'm shorter than you, how do you know you're tall if not because of me? You can say you're tall, but I'm shorter than you. So we're even. You may be richer than me, but I'm poorer than you. You're no greater than me. And it's because of me you know you're rich. You need me. You may be skinnier or fatter or whatever. Whatever you are, I'm the opposite. That means we're even. You can never be greater than me in every way. So I smile. I'm grateful. I'm here. I'm inhaling and exhaling. That's a lesson right there. Right where you are is where you're supposed to be. And if you should move out of that box, praise God. And don't look down on people because they look different or they act different. They are where they are supposed to be. Focus on where you're supposed to be. And if you focus on where you're supposed to be, you'll be amazed how far you will go. Again, like I said earlier, bank your goodness. Kindness pays. Kindness pays. The divine meets you in your gratitude, guiding your heart and your mind toward fulfillment. Fulfillment is the word. If you want to be fulfilled, you have to start with where you are. Because where you are, believe it or not, is where the divine has met you. That's where you're supposed to be. More and more goodness will follow you, but not immediately. And if it doesn't happen immediately, it's okay. It's okay. Slowly but surely, your goodness shall come. And if you can do for others, do it. Just like this young woman did for me. I still am grateful to her. And I hope she's watching. Because if she's watching wherever she is, we haven't forgotten you, Catherine. I told you I was going to talk about you. I hope that you have that kindness, you hold on to it. Because you have made somebody change their attitude towards humanity by your behavior. And we should all be kind because you're banking your goodness. That's what all that is, banking your goodness. I hope that I've shared some words of wisdom that resonates with you and adds value and insights to your personal repertoire. I hope that I've shared something. That's 1 hour of my time that I wanted to give to you. And I hope it has meant something to you. Remember, each lesson that you learn in life is a step forward in your journey. It's not a mistake. It's part of learning. It's part of your journey. You know how you travel. Whenever you're traveling, you take one thing. You got to take the socks. You have to take the underwear. You have to take the shorts, the pants, the shirts, whatever you need. You have to pack it in that bag for your journey. It's the same thing. All the little things that happen to you is part of what goes in your journey, in the bag, in the luggage for this long journey that you must take. Life is a journey. It doesn't end when you turn a certain age. It starts from when you were born until the day that you're called home. So everything that happens to you, you just put it in that baggage for your trip. And look to it. And some people say, oh, all these things that happened to me. But here you are. You're here today. There's a reason why you're here today. Whatever happened yesterday, you learned from it. You took it out of the bag that you're traveling with and you learned from it, put it back in the bag and move on. You don't stay there. You don't sit and whine about what happened yesterday. You learn from it. There's nobody today that I can ask a question. Tell me, if I put a mic in front of you, tell me the worst thing that happened to you. There's nobody who can tell me that nothing bad happened to them. Nobody who has breath can say, oh, nothing bad has ever happened to me. That would be a lie. That would be a lie, because everybody has an experience, some good, some bad. But if I put a mic in front of you and say, tell me something bad that happened to you, I guarantee you are going to tell me something bad that happened. But guess what? Here you are, though. In spite of that happened to you, that you're telling me about, here you are. That means you survived it. Whatever that was, you survived it. That's reason to be grateful, because it did not pull you down. It did not kill you. It did not diminish you. Instead, it gave you muscles that you can flex. See, that's what challenges do. They help you reassess what you're doing. You learn how to weave, how to bob and get out of the way. You learn how to climb. You know, when people fall, they fall so far. So how much further can you fall? If you fall further, you'll be in the grave. So once you've fallen as far as you're going to fall, you're going to get up. So that's why when you look at what happened yesterday, you fell. And because you're here today, you got up. You got up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about you have enough. Know that you have enough. You have enough. I can't stress that too much. You have enough. You are enough. You are enough. I want to thank you for your attention today. And I hope the words of wisdom have shared resonates with you and adds valuable insights to the way you conduct your life. I want you to remember one thing. If there's anything you take out of this, whatever you are experiencing, you have enough. Just look at those things that you do have. Your happiness does not come from what you could get tomorrow. Your happiness comes from what you have today. And if you have a tomorrow that you want to campaign for, so to speak, enjoy today to start with. Enjoy today. Be a part of today. Embrace all that today has to offer so that you can experience the joy of tomorrow. And the joy of tomorrow shall come, because that's what the divine is in the business of doing, blessing people. You know, when they say the Chineke is in the blessing business, that's true. Now, when your baby, let's just look at this. When you're feeding a baby, the baby still, oh, I want more, I want more. But you know when the baby has had enough for the moment. Because if you give them more, they will be throwing up. So you don't give more than the baby can handle. You are God's baby. You're Chineke's baby. Whatever name you have for the divine. You can't get too much milk, because you can't handle it. That's when a child is riding a bike, you put a training wheel on the bike to stabilize him until he learns how to ride the bike. Then you take away the training wheel. That's what life is about. Little steps, little blessings lead to big ones. But then you will not get your blessing if you do not show appreciation for getting what you do have. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much. For those of you who joined me today, I want to thank you for being here today. Yudi Onyoha, the African calendar, thank you so very much for being here today. And Lasad Daloy, I'm so sorry if I missed it, if I don't have your name pronounced correctly. And then official Obi Onyoha 4472. Thank you so very much for being here with us. And all those that I don't name, I just want you to know that you're going to watch this after the fact. That's usually how it works. But I'm just so happy to be here to give you this information, and so you know that your life is nothing but an art of learning and growing. Embrace that art, okay? Embrace it. Until next time, keep it moving, stay curious, and may you continue to seek knowledge and inspiration in every moment. I look forward to seeing you soon next week. You take care, and you be kind to yourself and be kind to others. You take care.